Thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the organizers who put on this event. So I'm hearing a lot about conscious decision making and strategic planning. How do you deal in the face of setbacks? I graduated with my master's a year ago, and I've been having a lot of setbacks, which has been really challenging for me. So I'd love to learn what are some of your strategies in the face of setbacks when things don't go according to plan.
So I forget her name. It's either Brene Brown or Renee Brown.
Yeah.
Who talks about Brene Brown.
Brene
Who talks
Brown.
about the power of vulnerability. When things just don't seem to be going right, it's the best time to just do the wrong thing and act out and feel sorry for yourself because it's so easy. And so in the face of setback, that's why it's important to have a support group of people who will remind you that even in your darkest hour, your light can shine very bright. And, in all transparency, every morning and every night, I read I am statements. They're about 10 sentences of not who I am right now, but who I want to be in the future. And it's important to remind yourself and to surround yourself with people who will encourage you, because there's a lot of people out there who will be happy to kick you down when you're feeling low because it makes them feel better. And those are the exact people, even if it's your close family and friends, that you have to stay away from when you really need that uplift. As far as setbacks are concerned, it's the most challenging time, and it's easy for me to say when you're in an okay place, or to say it's going to get better. Because I hate it when people say time heals things. I'm like, give me time now. I don't feel good right now.
It's true.
But it really does. And you want to make a decision based on logic and reason versus fear and emotion. And fear and emotions are strong. So it's important to stay objective and just really have. I think state of mind is really important. And I'm huge on self-help and personal development, and that's what I would recommend.
So I'll just add, I always tell people, if you're fortunate enough to live long enough, you will have stuff, okay? Everybody's got stuff, and whether you know it or not, we all have stuff. And life is full of disappointments as well as joys. And I think to the earlier points, I think it's surrounding yourself with a great foundation of people that actually love you, care about you, whether you're happy, sad, miserable, whatever it might be. And, at some point, it happens to all of us. We have high highs and low lows. And so I think it's exactly that. It's recognizing that it's normal. Everybody has them. And, you do come out of them, of course. But I think having that strong support system is huge.
So being a woman of 50 years old, I've raised 2 children. One is a PhD student in New York. The other one attends Hampton University in Virginia. And with both of those students, I gave up my opportunity to go to school. And at 50 years old, I often ask myself, do I really want to go to school? I went from welfare to making $150,000 a year. And I've worked very hard.
Yeah, really.
But my issue was, at the age of 19, when I became a mother, I gave up my opportunity to go to school. Mm-hmm. So now that one is attending a PhD program and the other one is gone, I decided to go back.
Woo.
But there are times where I get scared. I work a lot. What kept you academically motivated during the time you were having children, for you to keep pursuing your academics? And how did you do it? I know there's times for me where I want to just give up because it's challenging. And so then you start doubting your intelligence, right? Because you wonder, well, can I do this? Or am I just too old? Yeah. And I deal with that a lot. Am I just too old? Why would you want to go back to school at 50 when you're going to retire at 65? And so I struggle with that because I say to myself, well, I want a career. Even though I have a career, I want to give myself the same thing I gave to my daughters, which is an opportunity to be educated.
But learning keeps your brain young. That you're making, your brain really work. It actually will lengthen your happy life to go to school. And I think you have to remind yourself of that. When you're aching and hurting with all the writing and all the work and all of that, you have to say, this is really good for my brain.
Thank you for coming tonight. I work for a startup, and I'm much older than a lot of the kids there. And I guess I'm having a hard time being a doer versus a strategic person. I think I'm at a level at being strategic, but it's very hard at a startup because you wear so many hats and you're trying to keep up. So I find that a lot of the men in the company, they're allowed to do the strategic thinking, and I'm trying to keep up to do the strategic thinking and yet keep up the details. Do you have any advice to challenge that, or?
I have a similar role and a similar situation. Everyone on my team is literally 20 years younger than I am. And I think part of it is our fault of stepping away from the details. I think as a manager, what we have to learn is that we have to delegate. Actually, my boss, gave me this really great insight a couple years ago. He says you can delegate the responsibility of getting something done, but you could never delegate the accountability to the results. There's a book, it's The Multiplier Effect, and it really talks about how we as managers can, look at our groups and kind of step out of their way and let them get things done, because if you empower one person to really feel accountable for something, you basically are filling the space of like 2 or 3 people. So we as managers have to learn to delegate so that we can step out of the details and so that we can have space in our brains to kind of think bigger and be part of that larger conversation. But we also have to empower and trust the people that we work with to get the things done. And it may not be our way. And you know what? They may have a much better way than we do. And that's awesome. But we kind of have to step out of our own way, to be honest.
Words are philosophy to live by. Sophia, you get to start.
So I actually came across this amazing statement, and I think given you guys have gotten to know me a little bit, you'll understand why I love this. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain.
Oh, like that one. Very nice. Javelle?
I live by it takes years to build a good reputation and only minutes to ruin it. So.
Ooh, that's smart. That's very smart. Susan?
Go the extra mile. It's never crowded there.